K6-7. For me, this dive, you got some good moments in it, but it really shows the fact that you guys aren't a trained team together. We got different timing, and on the sixes, we got some poor shapes on the build, which leads into some poor execution, and the timing on the sevens. Um, it's a dive, guys, that I feel like you could have just built up a little better communication on it as far as the speed of movement. Because the first page is real nice, and I felt like if you'd have just kept it there and not tried to go faster, just allow the dive to go faster on its own without forcing it, it would have been good. Manuel, I think you know what I'm going to say about these sixes. We've talked a lot about it, and I guess if you haven't been training, you're going to revert back to what you know, and it just shows that it's not learned yet that move that we've been trying to teach you on the six. And then Dave timing on the seven here. Yeah, he just turns blindly without having any awareness of where Marconi is. It just shows you how it can force separation. Looks like a minor issue, but as this happens, if it happens on a 14 or a 7, we're going to get that same thing, where now this gap between Marconi gets forced out. It's hard to force Marconi out, so yeah, he gets moved out, and now we've got a stretch into the 7, so we're losing time a bit here, and that kind of ups the anxiety level a little bit. So just be patient, work the timing on these blocks. Nice K build, guys. Okay, the 6 shape, I mentioned it briefly in the start. Can you see here how we're lacking the symmetry? You know, like I talk about the beginning of a 21, how we want to have Marconi and Manuel totally parallel with each other. We want the same thing here. Otherwise, you guys are going to go to different places at the start of the block unless you're fully aware that there is a lack of symmetry and you adjust to make the new move. Because Felipe and Dave are lined up with each other, but look at Manuel and Marconi. So at the start of the move, we are going to slightly different places, and I think you can see the difference in the finish, as well as the mistake of Manuel turning too soon at the start of the 6. And so that costs us a bunch of time there. And so if I was to analyze why this error occurs, it's lack of symmetry at the start of the build, a poor execution of the block from the front pair. Yeah, just leads to the poor finish, which now has confusion and possibly a separation bust going into the 7. So this has a better shape. That you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what you guys should be seeing. Now you have a chance of really understanding where you need to make the move relative to each other. And yeah, Manuel, see if you can get going forwards more, please. That was good. They've realised the timing issue on the back of the 7.